Have details in this report.
The cenotaph in Asaba is the scene of a major political shake-up as thousands of former PDP members from all 25 local government areas of Delta State, alongside party leaders, state lawmakers, cabinet members, and others, gather here to make their move official. The rally had the full weight of the APC behind it. Vice President Kashim Shettima, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, 16 APC governors, ministers, National Assembly members, and the APC National Executive were all in attendance as the party's national chairman formally welcomed the defectors with the symbolic presentation of the APC flag.
So we have to thank the governor of Delta State, Right Honorable Sharif, for taking this bold step. Also, we have to thank the former governor of Delta State.
We are here to identify with him, and we are here also to assure the good people of Delta State that this decision is the wisest decision that will lift this state from where you are now to the next level.
Former governor of Delta State, Okowa, explains why the move was necessary.
This move is bold, it is strategic, it is patriotic, and it is well-intentioned. I would rather sacrifice everything that is in me for the best interest of Delta.
For Governor Sheriff Oborevwori, the decision to cross over to the APC was a collective one. He is confident that more PDP governors will soon make the same move.
It's not a defection, it's a movement. We have done consultation with the National Assembly, with leadership, with stakeholders that we must all join. We are not Bobona. This movement is not only for us in Delta State. It's a statement. It's a statement. And I believe other governors will join.
Vice President Shettima, beaming with smiles, praised the defectors for joining hands with President Bola Tinubu in the mission to move Nigeria forward.
What testimony could be greater than the promise of this day? A political tsunami of unimaginable proportion that has never happened in the history of the South region, and barely in the history of this country. I bring with them the warm assurance of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR and all members of the APC. You are not just in this house, you are now co-owners.
The governor of Delta State described what happened here today as not just a defection, but a movement. And for the vice president, he called it a tsunami. And from their speeches, it is certain that more governors from the People's Democratic Party will be joining the APC in the coming days or weeks. We will be counting down to when the next governor will be joining the APC. Ikenna Amechi, TVC News, Asaba.
Joining us in the studio for this conversation is a political commentator, Ayodele Adewale. Good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Great. Let's begin with how these defections are in the best interest of the party APC and even for our democracy, because there's been so many people talking about the fact that we are moving in a direction where it seems like we are becoming a one-party state.
No, I differ from that. There are still other political parties, and looking at the over 200 million population that we have, I don't think that assertion is correct. But if people decide to move to the APC, definitely it means that interest alignment and programs are aligning for the better, and it makes the democratic system more robust.
How so?
Well, it's about conviction, right? They are in the PDP, or they were in the PDP. I mean, if you look at the goings on there, a very realistic and objective person will understand that that ship is heading towards nowhere. If you look at the way it's sharpened, they have 2 secretaries, so to speak. And if you look at the INEC regulations and so many other regulations there, they'll find it very difficult to conform if they don't put their house in order. And for the APC, look at the rate of development programs and alignment, so to speak. It's only right for them to sit down very well and look at it, and can they fuse together to form a larger interest for the purpose of their people and moving forward with the program that they have in place.
Well, some people say that this is a result of a deliberate action by APC to get the big names, the political big names, to join APC. Do you think that is the case? That's the first side of my question. The second side of my question is that how does this affect opposition in Nigeria, taking into consideration that every country needs an opposition?
He who alleges must prove. If people are coming with such allegation, they must also come with proven facts. But I'll also take you to another platform. Let's look at the industrial platform globally now. You will see that the manufacturing industry, the car manufacturing industry are collapsing together to form a very big entity in order to save whatever they have, and of course to open up more for technological advancement as it concerns EVs and all whatnot. Likewise, in other jurisdictions, people are doing the same. So it is not out of place if political parties, interest groupings in political parties decides to come together for a certain purpose in order to move forward. It's not in place, and it's not out of place, sorry. And that does not also kill the opposition, right? Like I said, we have a population of over 200 million people. So if you look at the population of people that are coming in place, I don't think that should be a bother to anybody to try to derail the process of politicking that is going on. It's about negotiation, it's about agreement, it's about alignment. This is our program. If you want to join us, this is our do's and don'ts. Do you agree with that? If you agree with that, we can come together. It's like a man and a woman coming from different cultural backgrounds, right? They have to agree. And once the agreement is cemented, then you come and form a union.
Okay, but quickly, I just want to do a follow-up with what you said. You said that you feel that it's not going to a one-party system because we have other parties. But when we look at it, there's trouble in Labour Party. We've seen what has happened with the PDP. Accord, we don't even hear anything from Accord. So it almost seems like when you talk about, political parties in Nigeria, you are talking about the PDP and then the APC. That's my first question. Then secondly, we've seen that right now, when these people were in opposition, they said a lot of things about APC, a lot of bad things about APC, and now they have gone back to APC. Let's talk about voters' confidence. Do you think people will now even be willing and have the confidence to vote for them, knowing that they might be saying two different things?
Well, I'll go to your first question, right? It will be a very lazy thinking and lazy narrative for some people to believe that the fact that people have moved their interest, you understand, to an existing interest in order to form a global interest, right? It does not stop them from expanding the scope within the catchment of larger population that we have. You have to go to the people with your programs. You have to convince them, right? Look at the action group in those days and the NCNC,
yes,
right? These were two individuals, but the action group did not limit its movement to the Southwest alone. They went as far as the old Gongola, the Gongola enclave and the northern enclave. Could you believe that Chief Obafemi Awolowo was winning election there? It was not winning because he was the leader of the action group, or action group alone was winning there. They were forming alignment, right, with other smaller political parties to win. So a very right-thinking party would look at it that, look, how do I extend my
But are they doing that? That's the question. Are they doing that?
That is what is happening. It's not different, right? The pool is very big. The population of each of these parties is not up to 10% of our global population. And that is why our numbers are dipping, right? If you expand your dragnet, bring in other political parties, the main purpose is the people. And how do you get to the people? How do you satisfy the people? Is your programs. right? If you guys believe in a people's-oriented program, you fuse. The second step is to now get pro-people to be your standard bearer, right? Pro-people, because if you don't bring in pro-people to be your standard bearer, they might not understand the ideology and the rudiment of deepening the party's principles and policies. So that is the second step. But the first step is let us expand the, the dragnet,
and to the second question about, voters' confidence, because we saw that while these people were in opposition, they said a lot of bad things about them, and now they are there.
Whatever they said is on the basis of their differential programs and how to reach to their people. Now, if they now get a sense of ideological correctness and they come together, they are going to be speaking on the basis of their program and principles of their party.
All right. Now, this brings me to the question of a lot of persons saying that the APC needs to be wary of these persons that are coming in, that President Bola Tinubu should not think that these people seemingly likes him and whatever it is he's doing, his policies and all, that's why they are coming in. But we recall in 2013, 2014, leading up to the 2015 elections, how a lot of persons came together talking about the AD and the CPC coming together, and some persons were like, this is a marriage of strange bedfellows. The question on the minds of people now is, can the APC really contain these persons? Talk about the big wigs in Delta State and every other state that are looking to be a part of the APC. Would they be able to manage their interests from your perspective?
Well, I'll take it from two perspectives. One from a scientific perspective, the other from a religious perspective. You have two cups there. There's something called filtration, right? You have a cup and you have a filter. Now, if this cup is the ideal cup that intend to produce the ideal solvent or the ideal liquid as it is, and there's another cup that have a content that you want to filter off in order to get an ideal solvent or ideal liquid, you have to filter it. And the filter itself is your program, your ideology, orientation. As they are coming in, they are coming to subsume themselves into you, right? You have to filter their thinking. That this is our ideology, this is our manifesto, these are programs. You take it, you read it, you align with it, you come and join us. That doesn't mean that you go to sleep. You have to continue to orientate them. Now, the biblical part of it is that, remember Saul that became Paul, the tax collector, right? He also became one of the greatest apostles in the Bible. But he was a persecutor before of the Christian faith, so to speak. So when they come together, you don't lose your consciousness. They have come to you, good. Don't lose your consciousness. You bring them in. You continue to orientate them that these are programs. Don't also forget, they also have their own good side. They have their own good program, and that's why people are following them. So you just have to come together, blend together, and move along with the same thinking.
And you don't think they can drag the party down?
Oh no, like I said, you must be conscious. We have leaders of the party. They are always standing watch. That is their job. Just like your establishment. You have controllers of your establishment. They don't sleep, right? Regardless of the fact that you're going to have one or two gaps.
All right.
Their main purpose is to look for those gaps and close it.
All right. I'd like to understand this matter of consciousness, but that'll be when we return from this break. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for staying with us. Before we went on the break, we were speaking with our guest political commentator Ayodele Adewale on developments in the country politically, talking about some members of the PDP defecting to the APC and what this portends for the upcoming elections in 2027. Before we went on the break, you mentioned something about the fact that the APC needs to be conscious. And to put it in better perspective, I'd like for you to expatiate what you mean by the party needs to be conscious as it is receiving these persons.
Just like every organization, when you recruit people or people come to join you, right, you have your rudiments, you have your line of actions and programs and all whatnot. As long as they are coming in, you start giving them a copy of your manifesto, copies of your programs, and as it is, right, they also have to go through some kind of orientation in order to embed themselves fully in your doctrines. You have to be conscious in all manners. even when you bring standard bearers, there are leaders in the party that will make sure that people key in to the program of the party and do what is right. And regularly, they also go for retreats. It could be quarterly retreat, it could be half-yearly retreat, it could be yearly retreat, in order to look at what their performance is, their KPIs and all of that, to make sure that it's in sync with what they have told the people during the course of campaign. And you also have to measure the development in the community, in the society, in the country, or the state, as the case may be, to see whether you are moving alongside with your political promises. That is what I mean by consciousness.
All right.
Okay. Former Governor of Edo State, Adams Oshomole, says, come over to APC and all your sins will be forgiven. And people have seen that happen. Don't you think it's part of the reason why we're having so many people going over to APC? Or would you say all these defections are based on the realization that, look, this is the way to go, this is the only political party that can give Nigerians what they are yearning for?
It's a statement of confidence to people that if you come to us, right, and you do what is right within our party manifesto, programs and all of that, it will be well with you, right? Just like it is said that all ye that come to the Christendom, come to the Muslim faith, come to this, come to that you are going to get salvation.
However, right? Let me take the case of the former governor of Cross River State. Before his defection, there were so many allegations against him publicly. You know, financial allegations, administrative allegations here and there. And then he moved over to APC and those allegations just disappeared.
Well, you said the allegations. The allegations, right? It has not been proven, right? As long as they have not been proven, they are still allegations.
All right.
Whoever that alleged must move ahead to prove it.
To prove it.
But
So
you know,
don't let us move with that trajectory of a political statements, as the case may be. I want to be very careful with words now. We must be very careful when people allege. Anybody can just stand up and bring up some phantom news and people start riding on it without fact-checking it.
Okay.
We have to fact-check.
Right.
okay, but word on the streets, not for me, word on the streets, we've heard that this is for
Word on the streets.
We've heard that this is for stomach infrastructure. Because I'll ask you, what is the reason? They have said that it's to benefit the people, but is it really for the interest of the people? Because he made a statement, you know, the statement that said that come to APC and all your sins will be forgiven. So are you going for your sins to be forgiven, or you're going for the interest of your people?
Let me tell you, it's like somebody telling me, come to TVC and your product will be showcased. I mean, TVC is a brand.
So then you're doing it to sell your product. What about
You're selling your message. You're selling your programs to the people. It's a medium, right? If I say come to the APC, and you will have liberty.
Is it me, I'll have liberty, or my people will have liberty? Because at the end of the day, it's the people and not the person.
The people start from a unicellular number, right? I start from you. You, I connect to people around you. It becomes a people. But I must advance my advocacy, right? Selling of my party program to you first. Before I meet her, I meet him, it now becomes a people.
I think maybe we should have said you and your people's sins will be forgiven.
Let's get back to 2027. Yes, like we mentioned earlier, we see this alignment and realignment heading towards a major election like we are going to be having in 2027. But then the implication for 2027 or how it would impact the election come 2027 is another matter that a lot of persons have been speaking about. And I'd like to hear your perspective, how this will shape our election in 2027.
I think people should go back to history and learn history very well and see how political party was created, how it manifested, how alignment happened, and how it got robust. When Abat Macaulay formed the first political party, right, with the youth movement and all of that, it was moving quite well. Then the Zik people came in from America and all of that. They formed their own party too, right? The Awolowas came in, they formed their own party too. But Macaulay could not win fully without joining forces with Zik, right? They merged, they formed, they joined forces, and they held on to Lagos and some other places, right? When we were to gain independence also, there was an alignment between Zik and Awo, and overnight, the alignment also changed and moved to the northern forces, northern interests, and all of that, and they produced our first prime minister, right? Alignment will continue. It's about interest, it's about program, it's about your people, it's about your jurisdiction. As long as those alignments fuse, and it fuses with trust, then you move forward. You cannot remove alignment from political movement and political happenings.
Do you see trust in this, and how would this impact or shape our 2027?
Trust will be built on interest, will be built on programs, will be built on character, right? I have great trust in TVC that you are very objective and you keep putting out news and information that cannot be controverted. I've never seen much, or I've never really seen where you bring out fact and people now come and hit your fact and say X, Y, Z. So it means that you are doing your job thoroughly, right? There are people at the background working very well. So also for some political parties, right, that does their background checks very well and they move forward.
So you're saying that this has no implication or impact on how 2027, the outcome of 2027 at the end of the
The implication is that the numbers will increase. If I have a number out of 200 million, I have 10 million, right? You have 30 million. You have 40 million. She has 2 million. And we all agree on programs, right? And let's assume it's a parliamentary system of government. The greater number will win the seats.
my question
So we all have to come and align. So it is in the advantage of the APC that people are coming willingly to align with them.
Then do we call that democracy for the people?
That is not democracy.
Listen, I went back to numbers.
Yeah.
I said we have 200 million people. It's a big pool. It doesn't stop other parties from moving into the pool and selling their programs, right, in order to gain numbers. So it's a number game.
But we are saying that it's stopping them because some of these parties are now looking weak. Let's take the PDP, for example. Like, what chance do they have in 2027?
Don't bother about them. Listen. Let me explain. Don't bother about them, right? Bother,
Not just PDP, Accord, other parties actually.
Hold on, madam, hold on. Don't bother about them because you are not a member of their party, right? Yours
Are you a member?
No, you.
Listen,
I'm not a member.
Listen,
I'm not a member.
Yours is to showcase what is happening.
Yeah.
You're mirroring what is happening so that they can go and sit down to understand that the pool is big. The fact that some people have moved doesn't diminish what is remaining in the pool. Go back to the pool, canvass to your people. If they believe in you, you expand your number. The APC is not sleeping. Every day they are reaching out to people, talking to them, showing them their programs, creating jobs, walking the talk, and trying to achieve all of the said and sundry during the electoral campaigns. The pool is very, very big.
Right.
Okay. Should I?
Yeah, go ahead. Why not?
Okay. All right, with the Labour Party in disarray, PDP has lost so much of its power. Other parties, right now, the only one I can remember is the Accord Party. There are several others.
SDP.
There's SDP, okay. I hear there are 18. But we seem to hear about just 2. And this last election, Labour Party came up, and we started hearing. What if these parties say, look, we are so depleted, we are not going to run elections?
It is not my concern. It's not your concern. And I'll give you something that everybody can identify with, right? It's a sprint race, 100-meter race. You have about 8 people or sometimes 10 people, right, running the race. Somebody is practicing every day, you understand? Practicing every day, trying to gain momentum. Some are sleeping, some are not really practicing, as the case may be. And boah, we start the race. You have a Usain Bolt moving very far, and you have some people dragging behind. Are you going to blame a Usain Bolt that have practiced all of his life?
So what do you say to those who are now still saying that, blaming the APC for the collapse of these opposition parties, saying that they planted stooges in this party?
I said earlier, he who allege must prove.
Yeah.
I come from a background of civil society.
Right.
I'll give you an example. When I was student union president, right? We were engaging the school. In the university, that some provisions were not being made. We were not just talking. We knew the numbers of toilets that we have, numbers of classrooms, numbers of the blackboards, as the case may be, numbers of furnitures, and areas that there were gaps. We sat down, we put everything together. And we also approached the ASU in the lifetime of Professor Baka Momo and Dr. Aoke Noah. We sat down, that look, this is what we have. ASU too was engaging the school. So we formed a union, and we checked, and we met with the government. So we're not just speaking, we were coming up with facts.
Unfortunately,
so
our time
anybody
is
that
up.
alleges must prove.
We'll have to leave the conversation here. Political commentator Ayodele Adewale, thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Right. Still ahead on TVC Breakfast, we will discuss the political reality.